Hey Selfish Babe, it is your girl Olanike Osibowale bringing you back another Selfish Babe podcast. And today I have my godbrother on with me. His name is Azaria Israel, and I met him through my godmother Taisha Shaw of Ile Omitoge. You guys don't probably know what that is, and that's okay. I just needed to pay my homage, okay? As you guys know, I deal with African spirituality, and of course, I want you guys to get a beautiful concept about African spirituality. And so Azaria is here to kind of talk about one practice, right?
Palo, Mayombe.
Palo, Mayombe.
Mayombe. Mayombe.
Mayombe.
Yeah, Mayombe.
Mayombe. Am I saying it right?
Mayombe.
Mayombe.
There you go.
Okay, good. Okay, and so you guys know a little bit about my spiritual journey. You guys know I honor my ancestors. And I practice something called the Lukumi tradition, where we honor like the Orisha, right? So this is different. I don't really know too much about it, but you'll be learning just like I'll be learning through my godbrother. But I like to share about the African spirituality practices from what they are and not what people have demonized them to be. And so I'm really happy to have my godbrother Azaria here to kind of give a perspective on Palo. Like I said, I'm learning just as much as you guys are learning. And I want you guys to kind of know a little bit about what's out there, because the way that I look at it, sometimes you just want to know what the options are, right? Like, I didn't know that ancestor veneration was a thing until I learned about ancestor veneration, right? I may not practice voodoo, but I went to Haiti to look and see how it's done, because I'm like, I want to see what it is for real. And when I went, it was beautiful. I was happy that I was able to go and see the ceremonies and also document that. I have that on my YouTube channel. I was able to bring on Mambo Lanice, and she talked to us about voodoo from her perspective. And so I'm really happy that I have Azaria here to just share another practice of African spirituality. Because just like you can be Jewish, you can be Christian, you can be Catholic, these are just options. And whatever option people choose, people should have the right to choose their option without it being looked down upon and demonized. That's the thing that I don't appreciate. Because I could say I honor my ancestors, and the Christians are in the comments telling me I'm going to hell. I don't tell anybody else what they want to do with their practices, and so I don't want people to do that. I just want you guys to have an option. So, Azaria, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am a practitioner of Palo, Mayombe, as I said. And I actually started out like you. I started out practicing Spiritismo, and which moved into it, Lukumi. But of course, I didn't get crowned. I still what they would call a half-seated priest. Yeah. And I kind of got the calling inside the misas. You know what I mean? Going to the misas and someone identifying that, hey, he has a Congo. Yeah. So from there, and it's something you said earlier when you said you didn't know anything about ancestral veneration. Yeah. That is key in Palo. Okay. It's dealing with the ancestors, or as some would say, the dead. So from there is where my journey kind of went towards Palo. Yeah. But before that, I always studied metaphysics. I was a part of, at one point in time, I was part of the African Hebrew Israelite tradition. And from there, I studied Kemet, ancient Egypt, the Kabbalah, even studied, the I Ching, some of the Asian philosophy. So, but for me, Palo is just something different. It just kind of pulled, it kind of like pulled me all in. So,
before we get into that, you mentioned you practice Spiritismo. So for the audience that don't know what that is, how would you summarize that?
So Spiritismo is, we're talking about the white table. Okay. With some start with 1 glass, 3 glasses, 7 glasses, 8, 9, whatever. And it's a form of spiritualism where we deal with, as you say, the ancestors, spirit guides, laborers. But what it is it's a form of connecting with the spirits that walk with you. When I say walk with you, that are attached to what they call your spiritual frame. Yeah. And
everybody has a spiritual frame. Guys.
Everyone has a spiritual frame, whether you want to believe it or not.
Yeah.
So, so Spiritismo, and there's one Palo told me this. He said, Spiritismo is the kindergarten to Palo.
Okay. So the beginning.
It's the beginning. Okay. So, and now some people some people in the tradition may disagree. I'm just from my perspective.
Yeah.
So it was very helpful because it allowed me to connect with the dead, and with the ancestors or spirit guides or whatever. And it's a system that's practiced in Latin America, Spiritismo or spiritualism. Yeah. And now it's all over the Caribbean. I'm sure it's in Brazil. Of course, it's in the United States because we practice it. Yeah. So that was I guess it would be the foundation for Palo.
Okay. And you mentioned something else, which you mentioned the misa. Can you just summarize that real quick? I know we gotta take baby steps.
Okay, so we're gonna take baby steps. So when I say misa blanca, misa, what most people may be more familiar with is seance.
They're not even familiar with that.
So seance is when, I'm sure they're familiar.
They're not familiar with that.
So a seance is when people say they sit in a circle and they call the dead to speak or to channel messages, or some people even get mounted or what we call possessed.
Yes.
So that is when we talk about misa. We say misa, but seance.
Yeah. And in these misas or seances, I find them very particularly helpful because you just learn more about your spiritual frame that maybe you didn't know. You learn more about the spirit. You may learn more about the spirits that walk with you. And for me, even me selling like my detox pearls and things for the womb, I've always looked at the womb as like a spiritual too and talked about it. But in the misa, sometimes when they're describing maybe what some women have went through, maybe they're holding on to depression, maybe they're holding on to certain things because they've been violated. That is like a spiritual around that, like a spiritual sickness around that. And so even in these misas, I've gotten confirmation of kind of what I already knew. I'm like, oh, that's happening. It is something that's spiritual. We are cleansing the womb. So now I'm completely clear about that. I know I'm not just talking out into the atmosphere. I'm like, no, this stuff exists. So now take us through your journey to Palo.
So, I know. So, like we was talking about the misas, the seances, where different mediums, that means spiritualists, people that are proficient with connection with the dead.
They can channel what the dead is saying.
They can channel, right.
Yes.
So, through this process, it was identified that I had what you call a Congo spirit that walked with me. Okay. And more so, not only did he walk with me, they said that he was like at the forefront of my spiritual frame. Okay. And normally when it's like that, you're gonna get called to Palo. Okay. Because here's one thing, everyone's not called to Palo.
Highlight that. Say it again.
Everyone's not called for Palo. Just like, everyone's not called for voodoo. Yes. Everyone's not called for Lukumi.
Yes. You may have an interest in it, and that's beautiful. Right. But just because you have an interest in it doesn't mean that it's something that you should be doing or called to do. Like I said, I went to Haiti to learn about voodoo, but that didn't mean I wanted to be initiated. I just went to look at it and see how beautiful it was. That was it. And sometimes it's beautiful to just look at things from afar. But yes, I want to make sure that you said that.
So, so everyone, because the follow-up is after someone identifies this Congo spirit, the next step would be to find a proficient priest in Palo. Yeah. To go have a divination.
Yeah. Which is a reading. A divination is a reading.
To now see what comes behind it.
Yes.
So those are, I would say, the first two steps.
Okay. So you got in the misa, your Congo came up. You got divination on it. They gave you more insight, and from that insight,
there's another step.
Okay.
So even in the divination, verifies, as a Congo, then what has to happen is you have to find someone that you think that could be a godparent
Yeah.
that you could get along with.
And
if
trust.
And trust.
Yeah.
And here's the next thing. That her things, her spirit, accepts you. So just because, okay, yeah, he has or she has a combo. Okay, you go get a reading. Yeah, you got a path in this tradition.
Yeah.
But where you're at, sitting that day in the reading, you may not be open to coming to that spiritual house.
For what reasons?
Hey, you got a path, but we don't need you over here.
Okay.
You know, for just nothing. I don't want to say it's your fault of your own, but hey, yeah, you have a path, but hey, we don't want you.
Okay.
Or you need to go here.
Yeah.
So it's not about, hey, yeah, I want to be a Palo. I'm going to pay you X amount of money and I'm going to go in.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure someone maybe does that, but that's not what we practice.
Yeah. Okay, so when you met your priest or priestess, did the energies align?
Yeah, so my situation was kind of funny because my previous godfather is a good spiritualist and Lukumi priest. And he was the first one to identify this Congo. And then other priests that he knew when we did misas, they seen it as well. So he was very good friends with, at the time, with Nagara.
Okay.
So Nagara is the one who gave me my first Palo reading.
Okay, nice.
And like I said, she said, you got a path. You know, you can be scratched, but hey, that's just it. So from there, Nagara referred me to Madrina.
Okay.
Taisha Shaw.
Yes.
And that's how that relationship started.
Okay, and you mentioned a scratch. I know you
Okay, a scratch is.
You can't say too much.
I'm sorry.
About it, but
a scratch is, that's the word we use for initiation.
Yeah. So initiation, I would say, is like a bigger spiritual step on your journey in whatever you're practicing.
Right.
It's a really big step. I guess that's the bit. How would you describe it? I just describe it as it's a huge step.
It's a lifelong decision.
A lifelong decision.
So
yes.
if you want to say, I don't know how you could measure it.
Yeah.
Because it's from when you start to the end.
Yeah.
And that's just the pact or the agreement you make.
Yeah.
You know, so yes, it's a huge step. I don't even know if step would be how we could quantify it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's true. So where did Palo originate?
Palo originated in the country of Cuba.
Okay.
But the roots of Palo go back to Central Africa.
Okay.
The Congo region, Angola, and places like that. But Palo, Mayombe originated in the land of Cuba.
Okay. And I don't know if you know this, but what would you say people were using Palo for? Like, what was the point of Palo for people?
Well, I think initially and what I've read, I don't want to say I think, that they were culturally trying to bond, but it was so many different tribes from that region that people's ideology was just slightly different. And remember, it's a cult or system that's based off the dead.
Yes.
The ancestors.
Yes.
And what we call the Bakulu.
The Bakulu.
Right.
Okay.
So you got to remember, so you got so many different slaves coming from everywhere, and they're thrown on one plantation, right?
Yeah.
And even though the language may be similar, but they may believe a little different. You know, he believes what his grandparents did. It's similar because we from, parts, but it's not the same. So they formed what you call, at some point in time, they call Palo, which Palo means stick.
Okay.
That's the definition.
So, and I don't know if you could break this down, but stick, roots, like,
yeah.
is that
So you
in
got
connection?
root doctor.
Is that
so you got
connection with the ancestors? Stick.
Well, there's people believe that trees have spirits, right?
Yeah.
So we kind of believe that, and so stick would just kind of make sense.
Okay.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and that's what Palo means, stick.
Okay.
The Congo word for would be what we call encuña, but in Spanish it's Palo. So it means to stick.
Okay.
And voodoo culture, roots.
Yeah.
You're talking about the same thing.
Yeah. So, okay, they wanted to bring the different cultures together. What else can it be used for? Because think about this, and I'm only guessing. In some of these traditions, we had to use these traditions even through enslavement. I don't know what was happening in Cuba. I don't know if Palo has any connection to enslavement.
Yes.
Does it?
Very much.
Okay, it does.
It's the root of the them being able to liberate themselves.
The root of them being able to liberate themselves. Freedom.
Freedom.
Right?
At that time, you know, of course, they were enslaved. They were trying to get free. So they were using the religion or formulating the religion to be a vehicle for them to be able to get freedom from, you know, being oppressed. In today's time, we use Palo for everything. And because Palo is about balance.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna pause right there because you mentioned to get freedom from oppression, right? So I'm just thinking about in enslavement. I don't know if people needed money, they needed somebody to be free. Like, I can't really think about what people needed back then, even though I know there was so much oppression.
Well, I mean, they needed to get from underneath that sinister and vicious slave master.
Yeah.
So they were using their spiritual abilities to do whatever they need to do so they could get away from that.
Okay. And so now in today's age, what are people using Palo for?
We use Palo today for healing, for justice, pretty much anything. I mean, and I'm literally anything. Because anything that can be affected through energy, then we can use Palo.
Okay, so you mentioned one important part about freedom from oppression. So in thinking about anything of freedom in money, freedom from the justice system, freedom from an abusive relationship, can Palo be used for these things? Is it only in the context of freedom though? Do you know what I mean? Like,
so are you saying can we use it to oppress?
No. Is it only in the context of freeing yourself from something that you can use Palo for?
No.
Okay, so you can use it for anything. It's not just in that context.
So that's the thing, and that's a misnomer to think that Palo can only be used if something is going bad. Okay. We have to go there. That's not true.
Okay, tell us that. So it can use when things are going good?
When things are going good, to maintain.
Okay.
As a maintenance, elevation. Just when I say anything, I'm literally saying you could use Palo for anything. Now I know some people have tried to relegate it to it can only be used for dark things because of where it came from. But you got to think, all the ATRs came from Africa. So why does Palo get labeled, quote unquote, you can only use it for, like you said, only for freedom if you're being oppressed. So that's not true. It could be used for, let's say if someone were using a love or attraction spell, it could be used for that. Okay. In the right way. If two people want to come together right and they want to spice it up, it could be used for that.
Okay, because I was gonna say, you said the right way, and I was like, what's the right way to use an attraction spell? But you just said two people that want to spice up their relationship. Right. Okay.
Well, because you know where I was gonna go with that, because a lot of times people, because I am a person, we use things just for our benefit, not caring about the other person. So it's selfish, you know. And can Palo be used for that? Absolutely. Can Palo be used to deter that or fight against that? Absolutely. So when I say anything, I really mean anything.
Question. As a priest in Palo, did you have to ever sit with yourself and think about the type of clients you wanted and the type of workings they wanted to do, and if or will not you will do the work?
Yeah, so now that's funny because my story is crazy. So, and I'm not ashamed to say, I went to prison for 15 years for a drug charge. At the end of my prison sentence, I was released into what you call the re-entry program. When I go to the re-entry program, the director was the one that was responsible for my release. Yeah. He assigned me to be the one to go to the parole board to speak up on other people that were coming getting ready to get out.
Okay.
So at this time, I don't know about Palo, but I know about spiritual practice. So at this time, I'm getting what we call our colladas elected and look for me.
Say the name again.
Well,
look at the camera.
Okay, so the Spanish name for these is colladas, or we call them bandera. That's what we call this. But collada means necklace.
So they're like spiritual protection?
This is for like spiritual protection.
Okay.
And when we work in ceremonial ritual.
Yeah.
So I was fortunate enough to get that job to go and speak at the parole board on behalf of other people getting out. So I started doing that work, and it's kind of in the line of justice. Once I started to get initiated and go through ceremonies, it only made sense that I had been in a place like this before. And then once I got out, I started to speak up for the brothers and sisters. Now I have the tools
to help them
spiritually. So that's how I found my way into doing a lot of what we call justice, or dealing works that's dealing with the legal system.
So the people that you would speak to, they would be on parole?
Well, I would speak to like the director that's over the parole board.
Okay, so would these people still be in jail?
Yeah, the people will still be in jail.
Okay.
I would go speak to the committee that's gonna decide, and I still do to this day.
Okay.
That's gonna decide if that person's gonna go home.
Okay, and have you met people that were wrongfully accused of being, being in jail?
Yeah, so like 3 months ago, but we've been working on this case for about 2 years. We had a guy that committed, they say that allegedly he committed a double murder back in 1992.
Wow, that's
so finally, this year, the Court of Criminal Appeals have overturned this case for giving him a new trial.
Okay. So a new trial meaning they can decide whether or not he's going to be in jail or not?
Well, they're going to take him back to court to give him a new trial.
Okay.
Because they found something in his case that doesn't match, and he's been locked up since 92.
I'm 33, guys.
Right.
He's been locked up for 33 years.
Right.
And so he may have not committed it.
He may, I mean, we're innocent to proven guilty, right?
We're innocent until proven guilty.
That's what they say.
Okay.
But do they
He's still locked up.
Well, do they actually reflect that? Because now after 33 years, now you're gonna look into the case and decide what you're gonna do now.
Yeah.
But what about the 33 years? So
you mentioned that you do a lot of justice work. Explain the different types of work that you do that people usually go to you for, and that you have decided that these are the type of works I want to do for people.
See, the spirits decided it, like I was telling you.
Okay.
I started getting prepped for this before the initiation.
So the spirits decided this for him already.
They decided for me to be doing justice work because my past lifestyle, and I guess the transformation in my mind. Because when I was locked up, I did a lot of study. I read a lot. So my justice things goes from helping people, parole hearings, bail and bond hearings, even if they're going to trial, plea agreements, post-conviction, like the case I'm telling you now that we've been working on, and now he's getting, some freedom on it, hopefully. Any type of divorce, child custody, you name it, immigration. I've worked in all of them. And now I don't want to sit here and say, 100% I've aided and assisted and we won them all. No, because I'm not a lawyer, so let's just state that. But I do, I guess, we pray for the people and we do spiritual ceremonies.
Yeah.
And we have very, very high efficiency rate when we do this to help people. So, yeah.
You had told me something some time ago about helping moms. Was that with custody battles, or was that with,
custody battles, child support.
Because I have a large women audience, so I just want to hear.
Listen, I've had clients call me, and let's say someone has kidnapped a child.
Wow. And
we've done spiritual work before the police could even apprehend them, where we've gotten aid and assistance where they were able to get their child back.
Look at that.
So you know, any type of domestic where, you know, someone's being battered, beat, and they feel that the justice system has failed.
A lot of times it does. I'm going to be very honest.
Right. So, you know, they call us and, you know, we go pray and we do what we do and we get some justice for them.
He gets justice for the people. Now, I had asked you, how do you know that people are not lying to you? So you're not wrongfully trying to get justice when maybe they're the ones that effed up, but they lying to you. How do you make sure that they're
So here's the thing with the spirit world.
Okay.
That's not for the believers, but this is for us that know. If you come to me for justice, the first thing I'm going to do is go ask my spirits. Is she lying? Did he really punch her or do whatever? If they say, no, she's lying, she smacked him first. That doesn't give no reason to hit you because you are female. And you instigated on. Now, what type of justice you think you're going to get? You can't be looking to have this person just put away or whatever because you did have a hand. You punched him first. That's different if you didn't do anything and he came and hit you. So justice is meted out according to, I guess, your participation and your accountability.
So let's say it was a case where maybe she did punch him first, but then he beat the shit out of her. And she comes to you, would she still get help from you?
Yeah, because the punishment still has to fit the crime. Just because you punch me, that doesn't mean you break your arm.
That's true.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The things that we try to stay away from is, call me if he broke your wrist or your arm. Don't call me if you broke your heart. That's what I'm saying.
So if you went out there and cheated on you with somebody,
don't call us for that.
Don't do that. Okay.
Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
No, that makes sense. I like this because sometimes we don't think about what we may need and that what we may need can get some help from the spiritual, right? And so you may go to the priest and the priestesses to help you. Like he had mentioned, sometimes the justice system fails people, right? There was a story I had read the other day, which is very sad. It was a Haitian woman. She got, the husband or man had kidnapped the child and then he beat and killed the mom. And he's on the run. And I said, wow, they need to kill him. He can't just go to jail. He killed her. That was my first reaction because I just felt like, wow, he killed a whole life. Now, you know what I'm trying to say? I'm just like, no, he needs to die. That's my personal opinion. But I think that's a right punishment. So it's like when the system fails you, who can you go to? And I feel like you can do spiritual work to get things done. And like I was asking Azaria, I know the spirits chose for you, but have you had to sit with yourself and think about what work will I do and what work will I not do? Because there's certain work that you will not do.
Yeah, there's a lot of work that I won't do.
Okay.
And I had to sit with myself because you look at different things that's going on and you think about I'm a father, right? I'm a son and a brother. So you think about certain things that have been done against females. Would I take on a client where I wouldn't want this done to my daughter or my sister or my mother or my girl? You get what I'm saying? So that's one way. And then also, where's your moral compass?
Yeah. I think that's important.
You know?
And everybody's different.
Everybody's different.
But I'm happy that you brought that up.
I mean, you got to think about it. I mean, someone else could be sitting here and feel that you just made a statement. You think the guy should die, right? Someone else could be sitting here and think, well, I don't think he needs to die.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But what's important is what did the spirit say we're going to do?
That's true.
Are you going to be okay if you come to me and the spirit meets out punishment? Is that going to be good enough? Do we really see the thing today? I don't think that people really believe like they say they believe. Because if they did, they wouldn't do all these outlandish things that they do out here in what we call spiritual.
If you're saying if people don't believe what? That
they
God
don't believe
is real, that there's punishment?
Right.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or they only want to believe when it's what? Beneficial to them.
Yeah. But I guess maybe some people, and I'm not writing for the people that do people wrong, but I don't think they're thinking about God in those moments that they do wrong. They're not thinking about God. They're not thinking about, everybody has their compass, like hell. Hell is a concept to some people. Some people believe in it, some people don't. So for some people that may say they're Christian and they do believe in hell, but maybe they do some stuff and maybe they end up killing somebody wrongfully. I don't think they're thinking about that, personally.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something that's funny, and a lot of the viewers they're gonna probably disagree. But I read this book and it made so much sense. There was this judge in Scotland, and there was this lady where someone had scammed her for a lot of money, right? Mm-hmm. So when they went into court to sentence the guy who scammed her, the judge said, you know what? He should not be the only one going to jail. Mm. And she looked at him like, what are you talking about? He's like, you should be going to jail too, because he could have not scammed you had you not had it in your heart. So
had you not had it in your heart for what?
Selfishness. He was talking about the law of attraction. Okay. How things pull together. Okay. You see how you friends at first? Because on the surface, it sounds like, well, how is that? But he was making the point that, now this is what I read. He was making the point now. Listen, that that a lot of times, there's not no victim. Because people have things in their heart and they attract that to them. Now,
so I'm not going to say I agree to that.
I'm not going to say I agree. I'm just saying what I read.
No, and you said it multiple times, but you read valid, and it's valid that you said that, because a lot of people probably disagree, because I've thought about that, especially when it comes to law of attraction, when I think about atrocities that people have gone through.
Let me ask you a question.
I can't say that they attracted that.
Well, let me ask you this. So what part of the law do we want to believe?
Either we believe in the law or we don't believe in the law.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So is it magnetic or not?
I don't know, guys. I am picky and choosy.
That's why I say, people say, not you. Yeah. People, they say they believe these things, but I'm saying, no, you don't, because you only want to believe something when it's beneficial to you. Mm. Because we're human. And how can you believe that person wanted to be hurt? It's hard to fathom that, right?
It is hard to fathom that. We just had a typhoon.
But then sometimes you go look at their pattern and you can be like, well, why is this person always getting hurt? What is it that he or she is vibrating within that keeps attracting this?
Okay, so this is the way I look at it. I think that sometimes there's energies in the world that are stronger than maybe what somebody's energy field can protect them from. So for example, I'm just giving an example. We had a typhoon in the Philippines that have killed nearly 200 people. We had a very category 5 hurricane in Jamaica where a lot of people have been left homeless, all the west side of Jamaica. Mm-hmm. But you have some people who say, I wasn't in the building the day that the plane crashed. I was going to go in that building, but something took me away. Mm-hmm. They have a protection over them. So you know how he have these beads on? I'm sorry if that's coming up. I don't want to say that rudely, but the spiritual protections that people wear, that people have, the things that they've done, that's needed, because there are forces in the world or things in the world that I think vibrationally are just overpowering. I'm not saying anybody deserves to die in those ways. I'm just saying that some people are protected more than others. I know that may sound a little fucked up, but I do, it is true.
It's not fucked up. I mean, it is what it is. There's a whole nother world that a lot of us are not aware of, right? A spiritual. And what we've come to know that this is based off energy. And this energy it pulls and it pushes. Mm. So that's why I asked the question. So what do we believe? Do we only want to believe things when it's beneficial to us? Or we just like you said, is we gonna believe in law of attraction, or we're not? Mm-hmm. And this is not about the law of attraction. I'm just making a point that of what you're saying. People are protected. You know, they didn't get on the plane, and the plane went down. Yeah. They couldn't find their keys, and then they finally get their keys. They get down the road 3 blocks, and it's a bad accident. Yeah. So you never know how spirit is moving in your life. That's why it's important to get in tune and get in touch with your spiritual guides.
Yeah.
So you can be on.
I agree with this.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with this, and that's why I tell you guys, I love ancestor veneration because it made sense to me. The reciprocity of the relationship is something that I adore, I love, and I believe me talking to them, giving them offerings, feeding them, etc. helps me, and it helps them, and that's me. That's just me helping up my personal spiritual protection. Now, Azaria,
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Just on ancestors. So, in a sober mind, whom would we think would care and do more for us in an afterlife other than someone that knew you versus someone you read about in books?
Yeah, I think it would, I think it would either be someone that knows you or has your bloodline.
Right, so that's why it makes so much sense to me.
No, same. But you know, the people want to argue me down and I'm going to hell, so shit.
But the people that's arguing you never been to hell.
Shit.
So how can they tell you where you're going?
Hey.
Because I've heard that only way you can tell somebody how to do so, you've had to have been there yourself, right? How I'm going to tell you how to get to my house if I ain't never been to my house? So
that's true. But I want you, Azari, to tell the people where they can contact you for. So any of my selfish babes that want to get a reading, that want to get a divination, not only in Palo, but you do other readings too, right?
Right. I do other readings. So the number to reach me, just do it on WhatsApp. It's 205-447-3398.
And what's your Instagram at?
And my Instagram is Meta Spiritualist Consultant.
I'm sure.
Yeah, that's what it is. I don't always be on Instagram. You know better.
Well, if people go follow you and DM you, they go need to follow you on Instagram.
It's Meta_spiritual consultant.
Okay, so you can either text him or you can DM him on Instagram.
Right, or you can find me on TikTok at Tata Lemberituto.
That's his Palo name.
Right. You can find me on TikTok. But it's best to just message me on WhatsApp.
So you guys know that I wouldn't bring anybody on my podcast that I don't think would be beneficial for you all. So for anybody on the fence, but if you're feeling called, reach out to him. He does really great work, especially for my moms out there that may be dealing with those child support cases or custody battles or even child kidnapping. But you can reach out to Azaria. Thank you so much for being on my podcast. What were you going to say? Go ahead. Yeah.
And also, we're not just limited to the legal things. You know, I come from some great elders. And listen, we're one. We do it all. Whether it's health, legal, justice, prosperity, evil eye remover. You know, if you think you got witchcraft, we do it all.
I like that.
So we're not just one dimensional.
Yeah.
I mainly focus on the legal and justice, but you know, the rest of the family, you know, we do it all.
And you may have things in your mind that you want to come to him with. I do highly suggest booking a reading first. The reading is going to kind of tell him everything that he needs to know, right?
Right.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you for being on the Selfish Man podcast.
No, you're welcome, sis.